All right, Shimon, stay with us. We're also getting the first response from one of the franchisees, Rajasthan Royals, coming out and saying that the health and safety of our players, fans and management is of utmost importance to us. We look forward to seeing you all in April. So the first franchise to come out and talk about the deferring of the IPL really. It's going to have a delayed start, maybe in the middle of April. But as Rajiv Shukla was very rightly saying, it all depends, Shuman, on the situation even a month from now. Of course, everyone's hope is that the scare subsides by then. But even Rajiv Shukla was very categorical in saying that even at April 15, we don't know how things will go. Whether this will be with crowds, without crowds, whether it will be with foreign players, not without foreign players. The advisories so far last till about April 15. But it is a very fluid situation, even as we wait another month for the IPL.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, absolutely, Shivani. It's very fluid, and as we have been mentioning that the BCCI is keeping an eye on a day-to-day basis. Now it's an hour-to-hour basis. Now, what has been the BCCI has done is they have been in compliance. That this is an indication that they have been giving for the last 5-6 hours that they will comply with the direction given by the by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare,
it's
and
not
also
so
from
much
the
that they
Ministry of
wanted to
Affairs.
comply.
And
if I may just interject you here, I think their hand has also been forced by the kind of decision that the Delhi government took. Delhi government became the first to say there will be no IPL matches with fans or without fans. And I think there was a fear, there was a possibility that other states that are declaring the coronavirus as an epidemic could well have taken that decision. So their hand has also been forced in that sense.
Well, absolutely, yes, because that was one of the reasons why they had to take this decision. Also, I remember that Maharashtra, there are certain governments, Maharashtra and other few governments who have been saying that under the present scenario, there cannot be any public gathering. There cannot be any IPL matches under such scenario. The Ministry of External Affairs also giving a negative response as far as the conducting of IPL is concerned. So from everywhere, there was no positive sign for IPL to be conducted during this time. So it had to be delayed. It's now delayed for almost 3 weeks, more than 2 weeks, in fact, 2.5 weeks. But what is to be understood is whether after that, if coronavirus does not subside and it increases, God forbid, but then if that happens, then what happens? Then IPL, there is no more window. It has to be, now already it's jam-packed, and already all the matches, 56 matches have to be completed within 30 days, which means almost 2 matches every day. So and 8 teams are there. So you play here, and after that, next day you move out somewhere else, you practice, and again you play. So absolutely, many of the foreign players will be reluctant to come. So these are also factors, because many of the foreign players, mostly from England and Australia, they have been saying that the IPL is very hectic. Now, if this is already so much jam-packed, then what will their response be? So all these things have to be taken into consideration, and also what will be the final decision taken, because tomorrow was the final decision to be taken. They had to take the decision 1 day prior. So I asked this question to Rajiv Shukla, so is it going to be a formality? He said that all other things will also be considered, which matches to be, because now time is running out. They have to do it very fast. What they have been doing, this is a very late reaction. Remember, Shivani, it has come almost at the last minute. It's the 11th hour decision taken by the BCCI after MEA had swung into action 2-3 days back. The Delhi government, the Ministry of Family and Health, and all these ministries already were swung into action. Now this has been the last reaction that has come from the BCCI. It's been very reactive. It should have been much more proactive. The franchisees were considered only consulted today, and they should have been consulted long back. And all these things have had to be. I think that there has been some kind of a delay on the part of BCCI in thinking or getting the seriousness or the gravity of the situation.
Well, the BCCI is, Shimon, very famous for leaving everything till the last minute. But given the situation and how more and more states were taking their calls administratively, they had to come out and announce, because there was a lot of speculation also and a lot of concerns also. They were inundated with questions over the IPL future. And I think it's best in everybody's interest that everybody has some clarity. Now, for a month at least, we can just wait and see how it goes. The big question still continues to be, as you rightly asked, Rajiv Shukla, Shimon, whether it will still be played with foreign players or not, whether it will be played with crowds in the stadia or not. And those are the decisions that will depend on how the situation is, maybe 3 weeks from now, maybe a week or two before the now scheduled start of the IPL, April 15, they will have to take another decision depending on the situation.
Well, absolutely, Shivani, because these are certain issues that goes along with the conduct of IPL. IPL will lose its charm if foreign players do not play. If it's without the foreign players, then obviously it will lose charm. But then, having said that, what is more important is the conduct of it and the safety of the players. If the foreign players do not feel safe, they should not come. And also about Indian players and others do not feel safe with playing with them, they should not come. So these are absolutely personal matters. And also when it comes to yesterday only, when Parupalli Kashyap had asked the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as to what should be the decision. Should he play there? Should he stay back? Or what should he do? Later on, there should not be any complication, because if you are representing your country, you're playing a tournament, then the country should also take responsibility. And well and truly, the country has taken responsibility. The ministries, different ministries, have swung into operation, and the BCCI had reacted after that. It's something done in the right direction, but a little delayed, I would say. And perhaps the BCCI from here will learn more lessons as to be the safety and security and safety of every player are paramount more than the conduct of the game, because sports and games comes later. First, the safety, security, and when it comes to nation, there cannot be any compromise. That the BCCI should learn. The ministry had reacted yesterday, and the ministry will also today. There is a press conference where Kiran Rijiju, the sports minister, will also update as to what they have taken a decision. Remember, apart from this, the BCCI is not the final thing. Apart from this, there are other. Remember, this is an Olympic year. In July there will be an Olympic, and most of the test events, some of them to be held in India, were postponed, and even some of them cancelled. So if the IOA, which is much bigger organization than international ICC, then the ICC and the BCCI should also learn from them that if the bigger authority, they are not compromising, why should we compromise? Why, if IOA is clearly stated that the federations will comply with the sports ministry, will comply with also the external affairs directives, then what is so special about BCCI taking so much of time and then finally coming out with a decision?
Well, the BCCI in this case, Shimon, has accepted that it has really gone by the advisories that have been issued by various arms of the government, the External Affairs Ministry as far as the visa regulations are concerned, the Health and Family Matters Ministry, and also the Sports Ministry that has, of course, yesterday we broke that news that they had issued a circular to all sports federations asking them to ensure that they follow the government guidelines. The minister has also been saying the same. So there were, different arms of the government that were basically pointing to the fact that at least in such conditions, a normal IPL cannot take place. The IPL and the BCCI so far has taken a decision to delay the start. They will pack in more matches in the remaining time. The IPL, remember, has to still finish at the same time because international players will have to leave for their international assignments.